seamless admission and visa processing to study, work, and live abroad. Call Jestone Education on 080-9419444 or 0909-8919-444. Jestone Education, actualizing career dreams. If you wanna study abroad,
If you need a visa to travel, Jestone Education
is all you need. You can study, you can live, you can walk abroad.
Jestone Education, actualizing dreams.
For seamless admission and visa processing to study, work, and live abroad, call Jestone Education on 080-9419444 or 0909-8919-444. Jestone Education, actualizing career dreams. If you wanna study abroad,
If you need a visa to travel, Jestone Education
is all you need. You can study, you can live, you can walk abroad.
Jestone Education, actualizing dreams.
For seamless admission and visa processing to study, work, and live abroad, call Jestone Education on 080-9419444 or 0909-8919-444. Jestone Education, actualizing career dreams.
Hello, everyone. Good afternoon, and welcome to today's webinar. I can see that we have 22 persons on the call and more people are requesting to be let in. If you can hear me, just kindly confirm, drop an emoji in the chat box. I can see Damilola, I can see Okbara, I can see Taiwo, I can see Precious, I can see Fadikemi. If you can hear me, just drop an emoji in the chat. Let me be certain that you can hear me. Today promises to be really insightful. And yes, I can see some reactions, even on YouTube. We're live on YouTube as well. And I can see some emojis being dropped in the chat over there. Good afternoon, everyone. And thank you for making out time to join today's webinar. This webinar is exclusively hosted by Jestone Education. Today, we are going to be looking at everything you need to know regarding studying in the UK in January 2026. My name is Benaya. I'll be your host, and we have the privilege of having on today's session, Jestone Education's country business manager in person of Mrs. Mary. Miss Mary, can you just say a quick hi? Okay, I can see.
Hi, hello everyone.
Hi.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Really nice to have you on today's session. We are going to be going right into it. We're just waiting for more persons to join us while I just give a quick rundown of some of the things we are going to be covering today. So today we are going to be talking about everything you need to know about your January 2026 application if you want to study in the UK. And my bet is for every single person on today's session, I'm certain that your interest is to study in the UK in January 2026. So we are going to be covering, why the UK is still a very, 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 top destination for international students, right? We are going to be looking at all of that. Today's session, we are going to be walking you through the entire journey, what's required of you in terms of what applications you need to put in, to schools to get an admission offer, what happens after you put in the application. For some persons as well, we'll be getting questions regarding, how do I go about putting together my statement of purpose? How do I know that my WAEC is still eligible to get an offer? Do I need to write an English test? Do I need to write IELTS? Do I need to write Duolingo? We've been getting all of those questions. So today we're going to be giving you all the tips you need to get regarding applications, everything you need to know regarding the visa, what you need to know regarding planning your finances. That's very important because usually when it comes to studying abroad, the main conversation on the table is how do I fund my studies? So we are going to be walking you through all of that. And we're going to be having a question and answer session. So please, during the course of the discussion, if you do have questions, we're going to spend a lot of time taking your questions so we can help you. So if you do have questions, please feel free to drop it in the chat. Some of you had already sent in your question while filling in the form. We are also going to be reading out some of those questions so we can speak to them. So we're going to be going right into today's session. Our country business manager is already on the call and she's ready to get right into it. But just as a means of introduction, the UK is still a top destination, highly known for its academic excellence, known for amazing career opportunities, known for amazing post-study work visa. We all know that the UK gives up to 2 years post-study work visa for those going for postgraduate program. And even if you're going for a PhD, you can get up to 3 years. So it's a huge advantage for any student. It's definitely a step in the right direction for any student that is going to be going there to study. We also have one of our past clients on the call today. At some point in today's session, is going to be sharing his experience. Solomon is on the call. He's going to be just sharing his experience with us. So if you have questions, even regarding if you want to hear from somebody that has actually walked this journey that you are looking to walk, you definitely can ask your questions in that regard. I will be more than glad to answer all of those. So I'm going to be calling on our country business manager right about now, so she can just walk us through all the basic requirements that we need to know and tell us how we can begin the application process. Ms. Marima, over to you.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome once again to this live session that we have with the team. And my name is Mary, and I'm going to be taking you through the process, the entire process for submitting an application, getting an admission with a UK university, one of our partner schools in the UK. Okay, right into it. So January 2026 is just around the corner. I know because of the calendar, we'll say, oh, January is just it's very close, but I can tell you that the entire process to get an admission, apply for visa for the UK, could take you anywhere from around 2 months to 3 months, and you achieve your goal. However, but the general intake is a very short intake. Why that is so is because of the festive period. So of course, we have the month of September, October, November, and then there's December. So that's like the window at which you plan to, get your application done, get your visa sorted. And the month of December it's a short month because of the festivity. So anywhere from around the second week in December is already, getting very busy for the UK immigration. So you want to ensure that you have done everything that you need to do before you get to the month of December. So now is the best time to start. So I'll be talking through the step-by-step process of applying to a UK university. So first off, either you want to go for an undergraduate program or a postgraduate program. You need to have your international passport. That's like the basic document you need to travel. So you need to have an international passport. So if you're planning to study in January and you don't have an international passport, you need to get one. Get your international passport. So if you're looking at doing an undergraduate program, what I mean by undergraduate, so you have done your WAEC, you're done with your high school, you've done foundation, to proceed to doing an undergraduate program, you you are considered an undergraduate student. So what you need, apart from your international passport, you also need your high school results. So what that entails is probably your year 12, that's your SS3, or your WAEC results. So WAEC results is very important, especially for undergraduate students. One of the key documents you need, apart from your international, passport, is your WAEC result. Your WAEC result or your NECO result is acceptable by majority of the universities in the UK. And you also need to have a CV. So sometimes undergraduate students would say, oh, why do I need a CV? I'm not applying for a job. You actually need a CV. A CV, tells us about you, general information about you, your name, your email address, your phone number, your house address, schools that you have attended, if you've done some trainings, if you've had some work experience, as the case may be for some students. Yes, you need to have that on your CV. And if you don't have any work experience, just basic information about you. That is what the CV tells us. And then you provide all of that and evidence to verify your WAEC result, which is your scratch card. So once you have all those documents, we're able to, look at your application, look at your documents, and then give you advice on what you should be looking at. Then there's something called the statement of purpose, or SOP, or statement of intent, as the case may be. The statement of purpose is like an essay that talks about you, general information about you, and why you have chosen to study a particular course. So your statement of purpose is supposed to be talking about your interest, why you have chosen a particular course, why you have chosen the school that you want to apply to, why you want to study in the UK, why are you not considering your home country, why are you not considering any other country, and what are your plans when you complete your study. Very basic, but very vital. Then the minimum words you should have on your statement of purpose is 500 words. Some schools would take anything less than that, but I would advise a minimum of 500 words. And it's very important to write your statement of purpose yourself, because the admissions team look beyond just your qualification. They look at your statement of purpose and they can tell who you are from looking at your statement of purpose. So that's for undergraduates. Now, when we come to postgraduates, so for postgraduate, we're talking about those who are going for a master's, a PGD program, which we call like a pre-master's, or you're considering a PhD. So we'll take it one step at a time. For masters, apart from your international passport, which is very important, you also need to have a well-detailed CV. Now, your CV for a postgraduate student is supposed to have your basic information, the places you have worked, if you have worked, and if you haven't worked, for example, you just graduated, of course, you should tell us currently what you're doing. Even if you're serving or you're currently doing a training, you're learning something, that should be on your CV. That's what the CV requirement for a postgraduate student is supposed to have. And then you also need to write your statement of purpose as well. So for a postgraduate student, you want to be very detailed about why the university should consider you. Apart, why you stand out really in your statement of purpose. And then your WAEC results. So sometimes people say, oh, why do I do the WAEC result? I wrote my WAEC like 10 years ago, 5 years ago, 15 years ago, 20 years ago. We are currently in Nigeria, and I'm sure majority of us are Nigerians, and our native language is not English. but our official language is English. So what that means is that you were taught in English in school. And for you to be able to, verify or to prove to the admissions team that I can speak, write, list, I can hear, I can understand English language, I can speak English, I can write English, I can read English language documents, you need to be able to, verify that you have a result that, shows that you qualify for that. And WAEC is like the official document. Now, any WAEC written from 1975 can be verified. So if you have done WAEC 20 years ago, they can verify your results. You just need to provide a scratch card that would allow us to verify that. Now, for some schools, they wouldn't accept just the WAEC result. They would need your university to say, oh, you have been taught in English, or English has been used as the medium of instruction. So as the case may be, some schools might require that you provide that. Some schools can also go ahead and ask you to, get a letter from your employer saying that you can communicate in English. And some schools can go as far as asking you to take an English test. Now, the minimum requirement for English language on WAEC is a C6. It's a C6, a minimum of C6 in English. So if you don't have a C6 in English, you can provide either another test of English. So there's the IELTS, there's Duolingo, and PTE, depending on what the school requires. So you can take that as the case may be. And not just your WAEC, but also NECO is accepted. However, for NECO, some schools do not take a minimum of C6. Some schools will require that you have C5 in WAEC or a B3 in WAEC, in your NECO, English language in your NECO. So those are the documents you need. You need your international passport, your CV, your certificates and your transcripts, your statement of purpose, and reference letters. So your reference letter can come from your employer or from your university that you have graduated. So for another thing to consider when you're looking at a general intake is the deadlines and the timelines. So right now, the intake has just started for a general intake. So if you want to submit an application and get a response as quickly as possible, now is the best time to apply. So there's a particular window that is open for early application. And then when it starts to get like maybe mid-October or late October, you're getting to more of the peak period of a general intake. And what that means is that a lot of people have applications in and waiting for decisions. So it can take longer than usual to get a response from the university. But if you apply early, say you apply now, a minimum of 10 working days or 15 working days, you can get a response on your application. But if you apply later than that, it could be longer. So the earlier, the better. So that's all you need regarding your application process. So Benaya, would you want me to take the next part of this session?
Okay, so there were questions regarding tuition discounts. I'm certain we might still get that later, but I don't know if you want to just touch on that before we go on to introduce Solomon.
Okay, so let me just go straight to the expectation in terms of fees, discounts, or how you plan your finances as a student. So tuition fee can range for undergraduate programs. It can range anywhere from, say, £13,000 upward. And then for postgraduates, it could range anywhere from £11,000, depending on the program. So some programs can be more expensive than the others. So for example, you want to do courses around sciences, management, those are expensive courses. So it could be more than, usual, but the average would be around 13,000 pounds for undergraduate, and then for postgrad, you could get as low as 11,000 pounds. Now, discount can vary from school to school. And discounts can be, say, there's a regional discount probably for Nigerian students, or for African students, they might give you a discount of your fee, or there might be discount based on the kind of grades that you have. So for undergraduate, they can say, oh, for students going for this particular course, these are the discounts that we give them. You could get, say, 1,000 pounds, 2,000 pounds, 3,000, even as much as 5,000 pounds off your fees, depending on the school and the course you're applying for. So that's for discounts. And then for scholarships, and before I go to scholarships, so let me just put this straight out to everyone. I know sometimes when people come and ask, what's the tuition fee range? And then you tell them the discount. So for example, I just said for postgrad, it's 11,000, and then discount is 5,000. You already calculated, 11,000 minus 5,000, give me 6,000. No, it doesn't work that way. So when we give you an average, we're giving you an average based on the fact that discounts might possibly be applied already. So it gives you like an average fee or an expectation on the fee for the course or for a particular program that you're going for. And then the discounts. So it's just to give you, so for example, I just said the lowest you could get, say for example, is 11,000. What that means is that the school might initially be accepting, the fees might be, say, 14,000. And then they're giving a discount of 3,000 off it already. So the average fee is like 11,000 after discount. So now to scholarships, and we get a lot of questions surrounding scholarships. There are a lot of scholarships for international students in the UK. There are government scholarships. There are independent scholarships by the university. There are also scholarships by individuals partnering with universities. So for example, you can go to a university website and see scholarships from maybe Edward and Benaya, for example, for science students or medical students, January 2026. So that's how it works. Now, for government scholarships, it depends on the kind of government scholarships you're looking for. There are UK government scholarships and there are Nigerian government scholarships. So the UK government scholarships, you'll be looking at the Chevening scholarships. There are other scholarships for
Commonwealth.
There's Commonwealth. There's PGC scholarships, especially for teachers, where they cover your fees. So those scholarships are open to international students. They're open to international students, and you can, apply for them. But we don't do the application for you. You have to apply for yourself. You must stand out, when you're doing those applications, because there are 1 million people looking for that scholarship. It's not just open to Nigerians, open to, other African students, other students from, other parts of the world. So you must stand out. There's something unique about you. It's not just your grade. There's something unique about you. You must be able to tell them about yourself that will qualify you for the scholarship. So that's for, UK government scholarships. Now, for Nigerian government scholarships, there's the PTDF, there's this popular one. I'm trying to remember the name now. But there's PTDF, there's also regional scholarships. I know some states like Rivers State, they also have, Kano State also have their own kind of scholarship that they, give to their students. So you can also tap into your regional scholarships as well. And then there's also scholarships based on individual scholarships by the university. So the universities might have scholarships for a particular program, or maybe there's a particular program that somebody's partnering with the university to, award the scholarship for. Usually they are very limited. Sometimes they might be open to just 2 people. So imagine you have 2 scholarships and over probably 300,000 people are applying for it. So you need to be able to stand out. So that's what it means for those scholarships. And okay, I think I remember the Nigerian scholarship. There's PTDF, there's NDDC scholarship. I know some states also have their own scholarships. So Kano, the northern states usually have a lot of scholarships for their students. Some states, in South also do have scholarships for their students. So you can just tap into any of those ones for scholarships. And I hope I've been able to answer the questions. And if you have any questions that, been highlighted.
We've not touched on, you can drop it in the chat. Thank you so much, Mal. This was so detailed. You've touched on every single thing we need to know from, looking for a university down to the application process, what documents are required. And I think what the major thing I picked from what you said is that when applying to these universities, the timing really matters. Like you said, now is the best time to actually begin the application process for those that are looking to go for the January 2026 intake. So I think that's the most, if you don't take anything away from today's session, just remember that now is the time. If you are still stalling, you are actually wasting time, and time is not actually in your favor. Please make the decision right now. You have assigned GESTON advisors that have reached out to you and sent you the link to join today's webinar. They are going to be working with you throughout the entire process, vetting your documents, putting in your application, getting you an offer, walking you through the entire process of getting your visa sorted and you traveling eventually. So please make that decision now, reach out to them and send them the required documents. We've already walked through all that you need to know. But before we go on to take questions and answers, we have one of our clients in the house today, in person of Solomon. Solomon, how are you doing? So quick, by way of introduction, Solomon is a client currently studying at University of Dundee. We helped him with his application process, with his visas. He worked closely with us. And now he's currently studying MSc Management and Human Resources. If I remember correctly, you went this January. Is that correct, Solomon?
Yeah, January.
We are really excited that you could join us on the call. We know your schedule could have been really busy, but you made out time to join us on the call. I promise we are going to make it worth your while. So I just have a few questions so that we don't keep you for too long. So we just want you to talk to us about your experience. So the first question I'm going to ask is, how did you get to hear about GESTON Education?
Okay, all right, thank you. I got to hear about GESTON Education from my elder brother. So my elder brother told me about GESTON. So
okay. And so what motivated you? What motivated you to say, oh, you want to study in the UK? And then why did you then decide that you are going to proceed? The course that you are currently studying, why did you decide for it?
Okay. What really happened is, as at then, I'd already applied to Uni Abuja, and I got some information from people who are already there. Like I got a friend even told me he has been in the school for like 3 years, and I'm like, for master's program. So that alone discouraged me, and probably I was like, and hearing in UK probably 11 months, 10 months you are done, and I'm like, then I think it's better I put in there, though I know the cost is high and stuff like that, but then I say, then it's better I just put in where I know within a twinkle of an eye I'm done and my dream is achieved. So probably that's one motivation that really motivated me in putting up.
Wow. And what was the experience like working with GESTON Education? So when you walk us through, when you contacted us, what was the experience like working with us?
Okay.
when you got an offer and when you traveled?
Yeah, okay. Just working with Justin was really, 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 really like I really, really enjoyed the process all through. I think I'd even refer some of my friends too because like when my elder brother gave me the number and he was like I should contact I think Peace. Peace is her name. So probably when I messaged her within 10 minutes I got a response and I'm like is it that this is it that like, in my head I'm like is it that this person is even waiting for me to chat her up or something. So probably I now say her hello. So okay, I now told her I'm being referred to by somewhere and probably I want to put in a university in UK, and she said, okay, that's fine. She now asked me, okay, what was my choice? And I told her, okay, Dundee in Scotland. Though I gave her two universities, Caledonia University in Glasgow too, all in Scotland. So she said, okay, that's fine. So but she the first thing she did was she then gave me or told me all the documents I need. Like she gave me she just gave me a breakdown, a run through of all I will need during the processes, like all the old documents, so that I could probably get myself ready. And first thing first, like it took me like a week to just probably go through all the old documents, get them ready, set. So probably when the when they start applying, everything should just go well and probably just go okay. So yeah,
Months, yeah.
yeah, getting that from her alone self, I knew, yeah, I knew I'm actually moving towards a positive direction. So and when she gave me that, I went through all my documents, I got all my documents ready, and the processes began. So from day one, I'd always communicated to her, and probably like anytime I just send her a message, she responds so fast, and she's and very up and doing from the first stage, from applying. Even at some point I got stuck with letter of purpose because I was like, oh, when she told me I'll get a letter of purpose, I'm like, I really don't know how to go about it. She said, don't worry, I should calm down. She now put me through, she now worked, like she told me, okay, this is it. She told me how it gave me just give me a breakdown, the first part you talk about yourself, about your experiences, and probably why you putting in the school. And at the end, doing it, I just find out that, oh, it's not even as complex as I even thought, because she had already put me through, she had already explained. And so within 2 days I had done that, sent to her. So even though I apply University of Dundee, they were communicating to my mail. So any message that comes to my mail, I convey to her, and she was there. Like she was like the responses were just so like no breaking communication from day one up to even when I went for my visa application. She like that morning we were still communicating. Okay, how are you? Where are you now? What's the stage? Like she even told me what and what I need to take for my visa application and stuff. And one happy thing that even happened at that visa application stage was when I went there that morning, when it was my turn. I some of my friends, I saw some of my friends, they took them to another room because probably the way some of their documents weren't properly uploaded. But everything was uploaded, and it took me so fast. Like immediately I got in, everything was already and everything was already uploaded by JStone. So everything just went smoothly, and it took me 12 to 13 days. They approved my visa. So it was a very, very nice and sweet experience all through.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much for sharing that detailed experience. And just to all those that are listening in, I mean, you're hearing right from someone that just used our service in the last January intake. And what he's saying is actually the same testimony we get from every client that we place. So you are certain that when you are working with Justin Education, you are in the best of hands. You have nothing to be scared about. We are going to walk you through every single step, holding your hand until you get to the UK. And we are going to talk a bit about your experience upon getting to the UK. But just before we go to that, So you don't have to divulge your tuition, the cost of your course, but did you get any discounts? Were there any discounts? Were your fees discounted? Did you get discounts?
Yeah. I think I got like a 4,000 discount. 4,000 pounds discount. Yeah, I
Okay.
got I got a
So
discount.
because usually that's another question a lot of people ask, oh yeah, the fee, I'm planning to pay for it, but is it possible to get discounts? And sometimes when you tell them that they're definitely going to get discounts, some persons doubt it. So that's just to also encourage you. If your budget, you might have the budget, but we still understand that there are other things you still have to account for financially. So we try as much as possible that we get you discounts, from our partner schools. So that's another reason why you should work with Justin Education. We have amazing discounts. Currently, we have one of our schools offering up to £9,000 discounts, although it depends on your grades as well. But always speak to us regarding that. And if we can get you discounts for the school you're applying to, we are going to get you those discounts and just make the entire experience so smooth. So the last question I'll ask you would be regarding settling into the UK. So that's the last question I'll ask you. How's it been like settling in? What have you learned? What have you unlearned? What have you seen? Just briefly walk us through that.
Okay. Probably coming into UK. Okay, I'll say I wasn't 100% prepared for the cold. Ah, so when I got in my first day, the cold was so like because coming into January, that's really into winter, so the cold was much. But ah, thank God though, thank God. The person I was coming, the person that picked me up from the airport already came with cardigan and stuff. So like, so coming in the cold, though but for now I think I've actually adapted to the cold to much extent. But the cold in the environment and coming in, walking on the street, probably you see one or two blacks people. And another thing that helped me so well, it's the way I interact with people. Probably I ask questions to know. I ask questions to know, and it's really helped me in terms of even paying my fees because I came in January and this is September, and I'm done with my fees already. So it's like when I came in, I asked questions and people already put me through. So immediately I came in, I started. I got a work where I probably just started working immediately, even though face challenges like probably because here you mainly do with map. Anywhere you want to go, you probably search. You probably use your map because you might be talking to someone who doesn't know anywhere to. So the person is using his map. So you have to be conversant with your map in walking around and going places because most places, if you call and probably ask someone for somewhere, they'll give you a postcode. They will not tell you this is so place. Just give you a postcode. So you just put it in your map and to take you to where you are going to. So walking so far so good. I could tell you that deciding to come to UK is one of the best decisions I ever made, and probably using through JStone and making the processes very easy and easy. If you ask me, people who listen, I'll probably tell them just in fact just start putting in right now. January intake is even I would say January intake is one of the best intakes in the sense that you come in January and like me now, my visa will expire May. So there's a lot of time and probably and as I'm talking, I'm done with my field. So everything is just everything is just going fine because I asked question and probably Peace put me through. Peace Jason, she put me through. She said, okay, this is it. Once you go in, hit the ground running, and probably at the end, she even up to date. Imagine she still checks up on me. Okay, how you doing? How is that place? How is it going? Hope everything is going as planned. I say yes, everything is going as planned. So I will probably really tell anyone who wants to come through JStone, they probably put you through, they walk you through. That continuous checking up on you, always checking up on you. Okay, how you doing? Ready to even help, ready to even tell you, give you the right direction to go through it. It's like me coming in and them checking up on me. It has really helped me, and I thank God for where I am today.
Thank you for that public commendation. And I mean, not to blow our own horn, but you've actually said it all. If you are on this call, this experience, like I said, it's across board. for all clients that we work with. We do not just help you with the application process, we are with you every single step of the way. And it's very important that I mention. So for putting in applications to the UK, your visa, helping you with your visa, we do not charge you a service fee. So it's completely free. Just don't. Am I saying the correct thing,
Yeah,
Solomon?
very, very correct. Sorry, I even skipped that. Like from the onset, I was like thinking, I was like, how much would they collect at the end? And at the end, no, a dime wasn't collected. And I'm like, wow, that's
So we do not charge for the UK. Our service is completely free of charge. So if you are still thinking you're actually doing the wrong thing, you should actually be sending your documents. You should already be sending your advisor a message right now saying, I'm already ready. I don't need any more information. Just what am I sending in? So that's really the pace you should be at right now. We do not charge you anything. We handle your entire application for free. So contact us. You were sent a message by one of our advisors. Please feel free to contact them and they'll begin the entire process for you. And just to speak to our visa as well, he said that his visa came out really fast. He went to when he went for his visas, some other persons, were taken to a different room. Their documents were not uploaded properly. But for him, it was express. That's because we have a dedicated visa team. So you have an advisor working with you at the application phase, handling everything. You also have a dedicated visa team that is going to be looking at your visa to ensure that every single detail is well accounted for. So we are not missing anything. So please, I'm imploring you and also saying that January intake is already at the corner. Send in your documents so your application can begin right away. Now, we are going to be ending this session very soon, but before we do that, we want to open up the floor for questions. If you have any questions, feel free to drop it in the chat. If you want to ask it, thank you so much, Solomon. Thank you so much for making our time. Thank you for making our time to do this session. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
So if you have any questions that you would like to ask, you can drop them in the chat. If you want to ask the question directly, you can just signify by raise of hand and I'll give you the option to ask your question. But while we are at that, Ma, we have some questions here that were filled out on the form. So I'll just read a couple of them so that you just speak to them. So the first question that we have here is, all right, how do I, so I'm going to read the question exactly as it is. How do I overcome a visa denial from UK? I've experienced a rejection from Canada and USA. I don't know if you get the question, Ma.
Okay, can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Okay, can you take the question again?
All right, so I'm going to read the question again. How do I overcome a denial from UK? How do I make sure I do not have a visa denial for the UK? I already experienced a rejection from Canada and US.
Okay, so first things first, we need to know why you were refused for the US and also for Canada. And when we have looked at the reason why you were refused, we'll be able to advise you for that. So there are different types of refusal. If it was just a regular refusal or if you got a ban. So there are different approach to the refusal. So we cannot categorically tell you here that, oh, if you got a refusal from here, it doesn't mean you can still get a visa. We need to be able to analyze the refusal, look at it, and then advise you what to do next. So whoever asked that question, I'd really advise you to speak with the advisor that has, invited you for this webinar, and then we can do it. We would also have our visa team look into the refusal, and then we can advise you on what to do.
Thank you so much, ma'am. So Ms. Mary has already said it. If you have any visa concerns, please reach out to us and we are going to look at all of that and advise you properly on what to do. I can see Dave's hand is up. Dave, I just gave you the permission to speak. Can you confirm that you can speak now so you can ask a question?
Okay, yes, I can speak. Thank you very much. Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, sorry, I have but a few questions though. Inquisitively, going to some place that you've not been before, you must have to be inquisitive with everything you're doing and skeptical. So my question is, like I applied for this September, but I was beat up with the payment, so I deferred. I'm yet to get the deferral response. And then again, in this sponsorship of a thing, I was thinking that maybe somebody that maybe if you have maybe somebody that wants to sponsor you and the person has a company account and all those whatever, I think maybe you can just explain further to me. Maybe I'm misunderstanding it. Then again, this January session, is there any discount in this January period? Because that's when I'm going to apply next, since I missed out in September. Then these are the 3 questions for now. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Did you catch his question fully?
Yes. Thank you very much, Dave, for your question. So first of all, I'll need to know the university you initially applied for, what course. Hello, Dave. Okay.
Sorry, I lost access to your mute. It's a Hertfordshire University and Management in Science, Masters in Management.
Okay. Okay. So, did you apply through us or you did the application by yourself?
I applied through you guys.
Oh, okay. So if you have deferred to a general intake, of course, you will get an offer. The university are just, they're just rounding up the September intake. So you should get your offer anytime soon. And there are discounts also for the general intake. However, it has not been published yet. So, but the university has a discount for the general intake. It could be 1,000, it could be 2,000, it could be more than 2,000 pounds. So, fingers crossed, you should get an offer very soon. Now, to the question of sponsorship, if I get your question correctly, if you can have, say you have an uncle, for example, that has a company and the person wants to sponsor you, right?
Yes, exactly.
Okay, so the way it works with the UK is that there are limited people that can sponsor you. You can sponsor yourself. You can be sponsored by your parents. So mother or father and yourself. So you can't be sponsored by uncle, auntie, or brother. So the only people that can sponsor you, you can sponsor yourself, you can be sponsored by your parents or your legal guardian. So when we say legal guardian, we're not talking about the kind of guardianship we do in Nigeria. Oh, this person has been living with me 2 years now. I can, I'm his guardian. No, you need to have legal documents to show that this person is your legal guardian. So for an adult, anything older than 18, I think you should just stick with you sponsoring yourself or your parents, either your mother or your father sponsoring you. So if you have an uncle that says, I want to sponsor you, you could just ask them to move the funds into your account for the period that you require that process for, and then they can just send the money to you. That's the best I could advise you in such a situation.
Okay, that was the same thing lady that is assisting me with said, but there was something I saw on the website. Wait, let me read it out. Sorry.
Okay, go ahead.
It said sponsored students. If you have a sponsor paying for your tuition, you do not need to pay a deposit. However, your sponsor must provide to the university that they have agreed to pay the entire cost of your course. if a company would like to sponsor you for your fees, they must email sponsored students at hearts.ac.uk, including student's name, student's ID, exactly how much they would like to pay, a full invoice address so we know where to bill them. So with this was where my
Okay, I understand where you're coming from, but let me explain that further. So there are different type of sponsors. So in this term, in the academic space, when they say sponsor, they are sometimes talking about these scholarship sponsors. Now, I think when we started this session, we talked about some scholarships that are government scholarship. Those are sponsors. So when you are talking about a UK government scholarship, they are sponsors. If you're talking about a Nigerian scholarship, they are Nigerian government scholarship. Those are sponsors. So those kind of sponsors, they don't give you the money by hand. There's a document they give you that you present to the school. That is what they're talking about. So there's a document they hand over to you and you give to your university. And when the university sees it, they already know because they are legal sponsors or government sponsors that are licensed to sponsor students. So there's a partnership between the government and the university regarding those. Now, in terms of company sponsor, there are some companies that sponsor students abroad. Now, those companies are not so many. We have very few of them, and they are globally recognized companies. So it's not just, oh, I have a business, I want to sponsor someone in my company and the person wants to go to school. No. Like when we're talking about company sponsor, we're talking about companies like ExxonMobil, we're talking about Total, there are those kind of, yes, globally recognized companies, Chevron, sponsoring students, to study. Those are the companies that they're talking about. So if you have an uncle that owns a company and says, oh, I want to sponsor you, the best bet they can do for you is pay your fees and then send the remaining funds to your account.
All right,
So
Dave,
I hope that answers your question.
Yes. Then okay, you've talked about the scholar. If there will be discount in this January stuff.
Yes.
That's all.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, David. Thank you for that question. There's one more question here. I'm going to ask you to unmute. But I also have, while you are unmuting, I have a question here asking about, can I get admission immediately? Yes, you can. So we have schools with really fast turnaround time. Some schools can give you offer within a few days, basically. So if you are ready to put in your application, please reach out to your assigned advisor. They're also going to be reaching out to you after today's session so they can begin the application process for you. If you need an offer in a week, we have schools that can give you an offer that fast. Zoom user, you're on mute now. Can you ask your question? I can see you're on mute, but I can't hear you. Are you speaking? Okay, so while we are waiting for him to speak, Soma, there's a question here. Must I have work experiences and papers published before I can be considered for some scholarship opportunities?
Okay. So for papers publishing, not necessarily, depending on the type of scholarship you're looking at or the kind of course you're considering to apply for. So if you're looking at, say, a PhD, I'm sure the supervisor that is going to be, supervising your research might require that, you must have done some publishing or some kind of writing, that has been published. So, but for work experience to be able to get a scholarship, not necessarily. You just need to be able to prove yourself and stand out in your application. So some universities' scholarship application is not really about your grade or your work experience. They just want to, they want to know why should we give you the scholarship? If you can tell us why you should get the scholarship, and I think if you're able to stand out in your essay or statement, I think you would be considered for some sort of scholarship at the end of the day.
I see.
Thank you for that, Ma. Can you speak now, Zoom user? Hello, are you able to speak? If you are speaking, we can't hear you.
Hi.
Hi. Hi, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. All I was asking is just that how is statement of purpose done? And also the application for undergraduates.
All right. Ma, do you want to attend to that?
Okay, so I'm sure the Zoom user is just joining, but we touched on statement of purpose and what you should look out for. So I'll just go over it again. So for your statement of purpose, it's an essay that talks about you, why you want to study at the university, what is so special about you, why do you want to study a particular course, what's your interest, what are your plans when you complete your study, and why have you chosen to study in the UK? So everything you need to write in your statement of purpose, like 500 words. So if you're using your Microsoft Word, you'd see a counter that shows the number of words that you've written. That shouldn't be more than 4 or 5 paragraphs. So it's just detailing about yourself, your interest, why you've chosen the course, if you've had a previous qualification before, you might want to touch on that, or experience before. Summary about your goals. What do you intend to achieve when you're done with the course? Also about why you have chosen the country, why you have chosen the university, and what are your plans when you complete your study. I'm sure after this session, the assigned advisor will be giving you details of what you should look out for in your statement of purpose.
And also, which one is mostly acceptable in between WAEC and NECO?
Okay, so WAEC and NECO are acceptable by universities in the UK. The only thing that might be different might be sometimes the grading. For WAEC, I gave an example of English language. You would be required to have a minimum of C6 in English language. But for some schools, you might be required to have, say, a C5 in English in your NECO, or maybe a particular course. For example, nursing. Some schools might require you have a C4 in NECO and a C5 or a C6 in WAEC. So they are the same thing. They are recognized by the university, but the grading might just be different, depending on the school.
Okay, thanks.
You're welcome. And then you asked one more question regarding the application process for undergraduate.
Yes.
I touched on the documents you need to provide. You need to have your international passport. You can't travel outside the country without an international passport. You need an international passport. You need to be able to provide your WAEC or your NECO result, and a scratch card to be able to verify the results. And then you also need to provide your CV. So I also said, sometimes undergraduate students would say, oh, what do I need a CV for? I'm not applying for a job. A CV is just to, let's have a basic information about you, your name, your email address, your phone number, your house address, the schools that you have attended, the high schools, your achievements, and probably what you're currently doing. So if you're doing a training, you can put that on your CV. Just basic information about you.
Okay, thanks so much.
You're welcome.
All right. So we have 2 more persons indicating to ask their questions, but just before we go into that, We're going to go on a short break, and where we're just going to hear some testimonials from students we placed in the past. Once we come back from that, we'll take all the questions and wrap up this session. So we're going to be, what you're going to be seeing on your screen now is testimonials of people. A lot of them just went this year, just got to the UK, just talking about their experience and working with Jeston Education.
Hello.
Hello. Thank you so much, Jeston Education, for the support that you gave me during my application to Ashton University in the UK. It was really helpful, made the process really stress-free and very great. So to anyone out there who is looking to study the UK, trust me, Jeston Education is the place to go. It is the place to go.
I want to say a very brief thank you to Jeston Education for the wonderful work they did from my application process down to my arrival at the UK. About leaving today, the 31st of August 2025 to London. Like, everything was socially free. I couldn't even believe when I heard it was free. I was like, free? But then, I can testify today that Jeston Education, are the very best. They took care of my entire process, from admissions to inquiries to visa application, down to even my arrival in the UK, to the booking of my flight, every single thing. So I would recommend them any day, anytime. A big shout out to Jeston.
Hello, my name is Amina, and I'm currently a student of Anglia Ruskin University, the London campus. I'm studying MSc in Accounting and Financial Management. And during the course of my application, I used the service of Jeston Education, and they were really, really helpful, right from helping me to choose my school, to my course of study, to try and to help me get my cards, my visa application, everything. They were very detailed. They were very detailed in the formation, and all I had to do was just go through my details and make sure that they correspond. Especially during my class, getting my class. It was really a tough process because I was already reaching the deadline. They were, helping me to make sure that I get my class early. So I would like to recommend Jeston Education to you also. Thank you.
Hi guys, I want to use this opportunity to say thank you to Jeston Education for helping me through my visa process, from helping me to get admission to my visa is out. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Guys, today I'm in the class having my lectures, all thanks to Jeston Education. So if you want to travel to any country for your study, please make sure you contact Jeston Education. Thank you.
Listen, the truth is this. I think last year was actually the best year for me that could have traveled. If I had missed it that last year, I wouldn't be here today. And God, just in His own way, used you guys for me, because there are a lot of agents that have them. And one of the reasons that make me that give me the assurance that I didn't miss my time, I was the first among my colleagues to finish paying the school fees. I paid 3.5 from Nigeria. I got a car in the first 6 months in UK, not just a car in Mercedes Benz. Everything was just working for me. Favor from the YT. Even school, they make me student reps. I can't complete the book of my life without mentioning you guys. I really want to say thank you. I really want to say thank you. If not for I've forgotten her name, that keep talking to me, because oh my goodness, I'm still going to have a way of saying thank you, that I appreciate the fact that I am where I am today. To you, you are the pencil, you are the pen, you are the paper that God used to write my life, and I will always and be forever be grateful for that.
There you have it. So these are just a few of the many students that we have placed in the UK. 95% of them just this year. So, and we want this to be your story. And that's why we keep, showing up, keep setting up this sort of webinars, so that we can help you actualize this dream. And like you've heard from the questions that we've we've been attending to. If you want to begin the process, by this time, if at this point in the conversation you are not yet decided, you are wrong, right? So make up your mind, start this process. You've seen those that have gone ahead of you and have made it work because they had our support, because we're working with them every step of the way. And we want to offer that same support to you. Contact your Justin advisor. We're going to send you the list of required documents that you need. The application can go in today. If you have all of your documents today, the application can go in, and before, as people are saying, happy weekend, you're anticipating getting your offer letter from a UK school. So we are going to be wrapping up this session soon, but I can still see 2 hands up. iPhone, I'm going to be asking you next, but I don't know if Dave still has another question, and that's why his hand is still up.
Yes.
Dave, you have...
Sorry.
Okay.
Sorry, I came back with another question. Yeah. For instance, now the program is 1 year. Does that mean that after 1 year, for instance, maybe I have a passport of 10 years, and does that mean that after 1 year that your visa expires? And what's the next thing to do, please, if I may know? Thank you.
Sorry, if I hear you correctly, are you asking about what happens after your study visa expires?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, so for the UK offers up to 3 years post-study, up to 2 years post-study for masters. If you are going for a PhD, you can get up to 3 years post-study. After your studies, you can get that opportunity to stay back and work during that period. But it's very important that you note that getting a post-study, heavily relies on, you went to so do well when you go to the UK. Ensure that you are focused on your studies, because that's definitely going to impact whether or not you get your post-study at the end. But after your 1 year, you will have the opportunity to stay back for a post-study visa that lasts up to 2 years. Is that clear, Dave? Dave, is that
Yes, it's clear. But what in the course that... Yes, it's clear. But what if you didn't get that post-study stuff? What happens next? Can you renew it from there, or I don't know?
Okay, so if at the end of your program you do not get the post-study, you have to keep to the terms of the visa that took you there. So if the term states that you have to return without a post-study, after that 1 year period, you would have to leave the UK. Ms. Mary, I don't know if you want to add anything to that.
Okay, that's my question. Thank you.
All right. iPhone, I've asked you to unmute.
Hello, sir.
Hello. Just before you go on, Technopovo, I can see your hand. I will come to you next after now. iPhone, please go on.
My name is Stanley. I'm from Bielsa. I have an issue with my WAEC result. I have E8 in English. I don't know if any school will be available for me to apply for.
Sorry, take that again.
Any engineering courses. I said, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
I have E8 in English in my WAEC results, and I'm thinking of applying for a scholarship or any school that can accept E8 in English for me to study engineering, any engineering courses.
Okay, let me answer that. Okay, so unfortunately, there are no schools that will take E8 for your English language. However, there are other options you can explore. You can either take your English test, that's the IELTS. I think some schools also would accept a Duolingo or PTE. So it depends on the school that you're going to. So we can always check. And some schools have their own internal English exams that you can take. Some might be free, some you might be required to pay for it. So it depends on the school that you're looking at. So I would advise you, when you speak with your designated advisor, we'll be able to advise you properly on which path to take.
Okay. So I still want to say something else, Ma, please.
Okay, go ahead.
The thing is that I don't know. I'm just I'm not exposed to things like this, so I don't know if on how will I say this thing? Okay, let me say, for me to apply for any ICT or ECT or any test, how, like, what is the requirement? Is it expensive, or is it like, for where I'm coming, I'm not exposed to those things. You understand what I'm saying? It's not like that's their policy. For me, individually, I'm really like seeking for a scholarship or anything, or any means for me to waive off that E8 on my WAEC, for me to be to be accessible to any
Okay.
school.
So unfortunately, you might not be able to waive it off automatically. So it's a requirement. So for example, if they say you cannot cross this place without jumping up, they wouldn't expect you to squat and still want to cross. So there's a requirement. So if you can't jump up, they will give you another requirement. They say, okay, if you meet this one, you would be able to. So like I said, there are different options to approach in this situation. You just need to speak with your designated advisor. If we can get the schools that you might be able to do it for free, great. And there are some schools not, they don't have any of such option, or you have to write the English test. You will have to pay for it to write it.
Okay, so I don't know if there's, like what you said, any means for me to get the exams or whatever thing free or something, or how I just need need this opportunity through this Genstone. Thank you.
Okay, so your designated advisor will speak with you, and if that option is available, that would be great. If not, you would have to explore the other option of paying for the exam.
Okay, no problem. If I'm paying, no problem. I don't know how it will cost me.
Depending on the test. So, like I said, you need to speak with your designated advisor, and would advise you on the approach to take, because different tests cost different amounts. So we can't tell you categorically this is the one you should do. So when we have looked at your document and we're able to decide on a school that you want to go to, we'll look at the requirement of the school, because each school have different requirements. So we'll have to take that discussion off here, and we'll take that to your advisor, and we'll be able to advise you properly.
Okay, there's one more thing for me to ask. Okay. If I'm applying for a scholarship, and the scholarship I'm applying for, they also like, how will I say this thing? They gave me the chances for them to sponsor my visa application, and I've not yet received my passport, because I just make application for my passport, my international passport, but they say they're going to get back to me in 2 weeks' time. Right, it will be ready in 2 weeks' time. So I don't know if I applied like before the passport comes in. Are they going to allow me to use the opportunity?
Okay, so I can't really speak for the scholarship that you're applying for, but you need an international passport to be able to do an application to a foreign country. So like I said initially when we started, international passport is the very first important document you need. That's like your identity. So you need to get that before you're able to proceed further.
Okay, thank you. That's all. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Iphone. So regarding the question that David asked regarding post-study, just to correct what I said earlier, upon successful completion of your studies and graduation, you have the option of applying for your 18 months post-study, right? That's if you want to stay back in the UK. Else, you have to leave the UK before the expiration of your study visa. So just to clarify that.
Okay.
All right. Thank you, Iphone. We have 2 questions. Okbara, I'm going to ask you to unmute, but Technopover, you can speak now, so you can ask your question. You have to unmute. for you to speak.
Good afternoon, sir. Okay, my question is, I actually came late, but my question is, I got D7 in literature, and I want to study mass comm, and also in my during my my Christian religious knowledge, my got E8, say E7 and E8. That's why I don't know if it can to, like, if I'm able to get an opportunity to get this scholarship to study mass comm.
Okay. I got your question. I got some part of the question where you said you had a D7 in literature.
Can hear you.
Sorry, ma. Technical work, please, can you mute so that there's no echo?
Okay, so I got your question about the D7 in literature and E8 in probably Christian religious study. But I didn't get the later part of your question. Is it that you said, would that be enough for you to be able to apply for an admission, or I didn't get that part.
Okay, what I said earlier was that this literature in English, not to say mass communication. I don't know if it will be enough in order for us to study.
Okay, so I got the question. You can mute now. Okay, so a D7 in literature and E8 in your Christian, you would be able to study if you have a minimum of 5 credits, and that's English inclusive. So I'm sure you did English language and literature in English. So if it's just literature and English you had E8 for, and you had a minimum of 6s in your English, and you have 4, other, courses or subjects where you had a minimum of C6, you would have schools that will consider you. Even if you have some form of, D7 in some courses, we need to really see your results and to be able to advise you further. But I know that you're not, hell-bound that you won't be able to study your course or your chosen course if you don't have a C6 in literature and English or Christian religious studies. So you would still be able to, you will still be considered by some universities as long as you have a minimum of 6s in English and you have some other credits, at least a minimum of 4 credits.
I hope that answers your question, Techno. So you can, if you have any further, okay, your hand is still up. All right, you can speak now.
Okay, so my other question is if I should get what is that if I have at least I can be maybe allowed to study in the UK. So I have to work really, and I don't know if it can be a good path for me to be able to get the scholarship in UK.
Okay, I really didn't get your question, but I know I heard some part of scholarship. So I think you're trying to connect your results with your scholarship. So like I said initially when we started this session for undergraduate scholarship, there are a lot of things to consider for scholarship application, and it is very and highly competitive. So we can't say categorically that when you have this, you will get this. No, scholarship applications is a different ball game. So it's you, selling yourself and be able to stand out to those who are looking at your scholarship. Now, I also mentioned something about the different types of scholarship. There's the government scholarship, there are also company scholarships, there are state scholarships. So you can actually explore those other scholarships. We don't, do the scholarship for you. You have to do your scholarship yourself. We can only put you through the process on how to go about it. So I hope that answers your question.
I hope that clarifies your question. Opara, you can unmute now and ask the question.
Okay, good evening. So
Good
sorry,
evening.
I'm in a noisy place. First, I have this. I applied to study at Western University. Sorry, I have Qatar. So I applied to study at Western University. That was September intake. And though I got an offer with them, and I applied to Keystone. I don't know if you can hear me.
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, so I applied through Keystone and I got an offer for September. Eventually, I had to defer. I had to defer due to some personal issues. Though when I sent a mail to the school, they said I cannot defer for now. But I wrote them a letter of deferral. So January application started, and then I applied to study MS International Health Services Management. So when the January intake started, I applied with a different agency. So I want to, and I also got an offer here to study for January. But then along the line, I started having issues with uploading because I was asked to upload some documents. So I was having issues with uploading the documents and all. So I had to like contact the agents I was using. That's with Geston. I had to contact Jane about it, and she was like, "It's possible that they can help me continue from the September intake I had already, the offer I got from the September intake." So now I wrote an email to Rexham for change of an agent, the agents, to let them know that I'm changing my agents to Keystone. But I haven't gotten any response from them. And then when I applied for my January intake, I had to use a different email address, like my other email address. So now I'm not so comfortable with the other email address I use, and I also had to write a mail to the school for a change of email to my main email. That was the one I used to apply for September. So I've not gotten any response from them still. So, and I still have an offer to fulfill for this January intake, and it's like delaying the whole process. And I feel there's a deadline to upload the documents I was asked to upload. So I'm kind of panicking because I've not gotten any response from them. So I want to know what am I supposed to do? What should I do? How do I handle it?
Okay, so first off, thank you for coming up with this, and it's great that you have also reached out to your previously assigned advisor and she has advised you what to do. So right now, the case is not in our hands, as you had already, involved another agent in your application. However, since an email has been sent to the school, I would advise you, you have to wait, because they will have to change your email address. And if it's possible to change an agent, the school would let you know if that is possible. But we could speak on this further. I'd advise you to continue to speak with your assigned advisor, and we'll be able to advise you further on if there's anything that can be done regarding this. But I'd advise you be a bit patient, please.
Thank you so much for that. So we have 2 more questions. We are going to be wrapping up the session real quick. So please, if you are just joining, feel free to if you have a question you want to ask, you can drop it in the chat so that we don't miss out on your question. We'll soon be ending today's session. Hi, Zoom user, you can speak.
Okay, sir. Yes, sir. I want to ask that is there any link for this application, and if I want to apply, am I to pay any amount, or how much will it cost me, sir?
Okay, if I get your question correctly, if there's any link for you to be able to apply to a school, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so I'm sure you somebody spoke to you and sent you a link for this webinar. So after this meeting, that person will be reaching out to you. You don't need to fill any link. Your assigned advisor will be discussing with you and giving you options of the university to consider. Once you have made a decision, they will ask you to provide the required documents and we will submit the application for you. And then the second question, please.
Our services, do we charge?
Oh, okay. No, our services for the UK is completely free.
Okay, ma'am.
And just to be certain, somebody sent you the link to join today's webinar, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. So they are going to be reaching out to you. You can also drop them a message and they would walk you through the entire application process. Deborah, you can ask your question.
Hello, everyone. Good evening.
Hi, good evening.
Yes. Okay, please, I wanted to ask if you have partners for student loan for masters, postgraduate studies.
Okay, so at the moment, we currently are not offering student loans. If you've gone
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me? Hi, Deborah, can you hear me? Miss Mary, please, can you confirm that you can hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. So
Okay, I can hear you now.
Okay. So I was saying that we currently do not offer a study loan service. Maybe you've probably gone through our page, you would have seen that we had that option available, but at the moment we are no longer offering that service. So no, at the moment we do not have study loans for students that want to go out to study masters or undergraduate.
All right, thank you very much.
You're welcome. Would that be all? Do you have any other question?
Not really. I just wanted to know if you have loan options.
All right. Thank you for your question. Editi Obong, you can speak now. Or if you are speaking, we can't hear you. Technopouvoir, is your hand still up? Looks like you have another question. Okay, please ask your question. We're going to be wrapping this session, so we want to keep it snappy.
Like for graduate studies, although I came late for the Zoom meeting, I didn't always see very well about the scholarship. So I applied for graduate studies, and what I applied for was for the scholarship. I don't know if there is a way where I change it, because that I put there was mass communication. But I don't want the those public I wanted to put there. So I just put up the lesson just like that. Just mass communication. But it was public.
I think we can't hear you. We can't hear you. So is it possible for you to probably type your question, or we can reach out to you after this session and then we get you clearly because we can't hear you.
Yes, please, Technopouvoir, we can barely hear you. Can make out what you're saying. So so please just speak to your assigned advisor. You have their number. They sent you the link to join today's session. Feel free to drop them a chat, send them a voice note, and they would, they will attend to your question. Editi, do you still want to ask a question? I think that would be the last question we take. I can't see any questions in the chat. Editi Obong, please, you can speak. Okay. So we can't hear you. If you're speaking, we can't hear you. So I'm just going to mute you so that there's no interruption. Feel free to type your question as well in the chat. And we're wrapping up this session very soon. So you might want to do that as quickly as possible. Alternatively, you can still speak with your assigned advisor, and we are going to give you all the counsel that you need, all the advice that you need regarding this process. So thank you everyone for joining today's session. Ms. Mary, I'm going to be taking your final thoughts as we close out the session.
Okay, so my final thought is I'd advise you to start, if you're looking at the general intake, just like we had said, we can't overflow it. You need to start now. Now is the time to start so that you can, get your responses on time, make your payments, start the other processes as quickly as possible. And I wish you the very best.
Thank you so much, Ma. Thank you for making our time to speak with us. And to everyone that made our time to join today's session, thank you so much. It's been really insightful. To all those that came with their questions, thank you for coming ready. I know that we are ready to get this process started. Like I've been saying since the start of this session, please speak with your assigned advisor, send them your documents, and they are going to put in your application. If you have everything, send it to them. They're also going to be sending you all the required, documents. If you have any questions, if you have any concerns, if you have any questions that you feel we've not touched on, or some questions you feel are too personal for a general call, as this, please feel free to ask them. If this session was insightful for you, please just drop. I can already see some persons are already clapping, some persons are dropping a heart emoji. Thank you all for making our time to join today's session, and we hope and pray that it's going to be a successful one. And January intake, you are going to, by this time next year, you'd be, in the UK, maybe around this time, you should be wrapping up your program, I believe. So wishing you all the best. Thank you so much for joining today's session.
During my application to ASTIM University in the UK. Hello, thank you so much, Justin Education, for the support that you gave me during my application to ASTIM University in the UK. It was really helpful, made the process really stress-free and very great. So it's really for out there who is looking to study the UK. Trust me, Justin Education is the place to go. It is the place to go.
I want to say very big thank you to Justin Education for the wonderful work they did from my application process down to my arrival at the UK. I'm about leaving today, the 31st of August 2025, to London. Like, everything was socially free. I couldn't even believe when I heard it was free. I was like, free? But then, I can testify today that Justin Education, are the very best. They took care of my entire process, from admissions to inquiries to visa application, down to even my arrival in the UK, to the booking of my flight, every single thing. So I would recommend them any day, anytime. A big shout out to Justin.
Hello, my name is Amina, and I'm currently a student of Anglia Ruskin University, the London campus. I'm studying MSc in Accounting and Financial Management. And during the course of my application, I used the service of Justin Education, and they were really, really helpful, right from helping me to choose my school, to my course of study, to try and to help me get my cards, my visa application, everything. They were very detailed. They were very detailed in the formation, and all I had to do was just go through my details and make sure that they correspond. Especially during my class, getting my class. It was really a tough process because I was already reaching the deadline. They were, helping me to make sure that I get my class early. So I would like to recommend Justin Education to you also. Thank you.
Hi guys, I want to use this opportunity to say thank you to Geston Education for helping me through my visa process, from helping me to get admission to my visa is out. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Guys, today I'm in the class having my lectures, all thanks to Geston Education. So if you want to travel to any country for your study, please make sure you contact Geston Education. Thank you.
Listen, the truth is this, I think last year was actually the best year for me that could have traveled. If I had missed it that last year, I wouldn't be here today. And God, just in His own way, used you guys for me because there are a lot of agents that have them. And one of the reasons that make me that give me the assurance that I didn't miss my time. I was the first among my colleagues to finish paying the school fees. I paid 3.5 from Nigeria. I got a car in the first 6 months in UK, not just a nice car in Mercedes Benz. Everything was just working for me. Favor from the YTs. Even school, they make me student reps. You know, I can't complete the book of my life without mentioning you guys. I really want to say thank you. I really want to say thank you. If not for I've forgotten her name that keep talking to me because oh my goodness, I'm still going to have a way of say thank you. That I appreciate the fact that I am where I am today to you. You are the pencil, you are the pen, you are the paper that God used to write my life, and I will always and be forever